We have things happening right now in history.
Content over everything!
For example, women get genital mutilations, and nobody does anything because they say, oh, it's culture. I know. They deserve to deal with it.
Yeah, that's a difficult
I don't believe in that. I think people should have a critical conversation with each other. Different people should come together in an argument with each other. Who has the best way of living? Who has the best morality?
I can't agree with you, because you're going to be the arbiter of truth then. Or is it going to be mob rule? Is it going to be the majority?
It doesn't have to be necessarily me.
But it's the premise of your idea. It's that you
I
can
know,
get people
it's a
together
problem.
and say that, well, this is obviously the best truth.
It's very difficult to come to the conclusion. But I don't think just admitting, just accepting others, just because you need to accept the others, is a good way out of the situation.
I agree, and I'm not advocating blind acceptance. What I'm trying to say is the way of going after discussions needs to be done in a way that's not making people have to reject their entire history and culture and people and
no,
family.
Of course not.
But
they
then
don't have to reject
wrong.
it, but they have to mold it. They have to adapt it. They have to change it for the better. People need to adapt to a better future, because that's how humans evolve. That's the greatest thing about them, their adaptability, their intellect.
I understand, I agree. But imagine if you have a friend or something. I'll try and make an analogy, maybe it won't work, but imagine you have a friend and they're drinking too much or something, right? But they really enjoy it, they're going to have a great time. You know, it's really...
I actually have a friend like
part
that.
Of their, they say it's part of their character, it's part of their culture, you could say, or whatever. But you know that it's destroying their life.
Yes.
You can see their life falling apart.
Yes.
Now, if you come at them hard, even if it's a good friend of yours, a lot of humans instinctively will repel that. They'll push it away, even your best mate, if you come at it in a wrong stance.
Okay.
Because you might be coming self-righteously.
So it's about how you approach it, not if you approach it or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the way you try to shift other people's opinions, that is what really matters. But you should try to shift their opinions if you don't agree with them.
You shouldn't shift their opinions.
Why
you
not?
should try and shift their consciousness.
But their consciousness is their opinion.
Kind of. What I mean is, if you want to try and make people open to new ideas, it has to be them doing it.
Well, of course, but you need to convince them to do it.
You can't. Like, what's happening?
You can convince lots of people to do many things. How do people
Usually
convert
by
each
force.
other to a religion?
Yeah, it's either because of ignorance, force, or incentive. I don't want either. I don't want either.
That's just how it is. Many people are just ignorant.
Well, let's get more on
Okay,
track.
so how would you make a person who's practicing something not functional, how would you make that person change for the better?
First, you can't make them. Second,
how would you influence them to change?
That's fine. Try and be as unbiased as possible with no confrontationality, or if that's even a fucking word, right? You know what I mean?
I think
you go as calm as possible. Don't be confrontational.
Probably it is.
Lay ideas out there in language that is is palatable. It's strategic. Like, this is what I try to do. I'm not saying I'm an expert at it, but I'm trying to improve at it, because I really believe that it helps. I've had people come up to me and say, like, oh, you said something last week and it made me think about it. I'm like, fucking success. That's success. But that's what I want to do. Only to encourage thinking of new ideas, to question your ideas. I want to question myself all the time. There's been times today when I've gone, oh, of course, that's a good idea. Is that right? And I'm thinking about it to myself. You have to question yourself. And you know this. You have to think that maybe everything I'm saying is completely fucking bullshit.
It's possible.
You've got to always do that. And if you can encourage somebody to try and do that even a little bit, you're making a great success. Great success.
Yes, but it's very hard to do that.
I'm doing
some people are basing their ideology on humiliating the other person just because they disagree with them. No, I try not to do it, but many people do it here.
I know they do.
They try as hard as possible.
You know how to be immune to that?
How?
Don't ever debate. Only discuss.
That's not a viable option.
Of course it is, because
not a viable option.
Me and other people practice it.
Will you just allow those people to pick, there are preachers here, sometimes catch agnostics or atheists who are not very well versed into philosophy, and they beat them down with fallacies left and right.
You come in there, yeah.
So you should come in there.
No, you should. In that case, of course, I agree. You should confront that, because it's not you one-on-one. It's you seeing somebody being intimidated or bullied, and you want to interject. That happened today when you came in. The guy with the sheet, the guy was just battering him. Maybe he came in with false intentions, because he was like, yeah, this Quran is evil. It's like, well, that's not a good place to start, is it, man? But he wasn't able to defend himself. Maybe that's justice, though. Maybe he should have read up. I'm in two minds. But I wanted to defend him too because he was just under assault and he couldn't defend himself.
Yeah.
It's not right. I don't like that. But look, you've been misrepresented in videos. I've watched them.
Well, of course.
And I have too. But I'm not there to debate, and that's very obvious. Like when I come in, I'm just discussing. What happened is like I saw some videos that said "atheist destroyed," and it's you. It's like, come on, he's not an atheist. And what do you mean destroyed?
It's pretty fun.
But if you come in, because you do come in with that attitude, maybe you disagree, but it's my perspective is that you do come in with a confrontational attitude, and you try and take people out of the game, and it might not be the best strategy. It depends on your motive.
No, but look, man, the problem with what you're saying is that you can't be polite, you can't be forgiving, you can't be nice to people who are not polite, forgiving, and nice to you.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Of course you can.
They will not reciprocate it.
It depends.
It
This is a
depends.
realm of thought. This is speech and thought. There's no force here. There's no action, like physical action.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, sometimes there is.
Yeah,
fighting.
sometimes there is.
Sometimes
But
there
you get my point. Is that there is a realm here where you can try and connect with people's minds.
Yes.
That's a great thing.
Yes, but you can't really connect with some people's minds here.
Some you
because
can't.
they are fixed on winning over the viewer and not winning, actually being right, actually achieving a better truth. That's the problem. And that's the big problem here, And you need to a certain extent, practice it. Because if you don't win the argument, nobody will listen to you.
It's wrong. That's wrong. People will listen to something and stuff goes into the subconscious. If you're making good points, people get cognitive dissonance. Everyone has cognitive dissonance at some degree. People will get that, and eventually stuff might start to click. Even if it's like
some people might slowly do it, but it's much more functional to actually win in an argument against someone to prove your point. You cannot change the world without staining your hands. You cannot defeat evil without committing some evil yourself.
I disagree. But let me give you something here.
You are a nicer man than I am, and that's exactly why you won't be able to beat any evil, to beat any injustice.
You don't know my history, man. I've had some heavy combat, man. So
that's not what I mean. I don't mean just fighting.
No, neither do I. I mean it in multiple senses. I mean it emotional, physical, spiritual, and yes.
You mean committing,
I mean
somehow evil deeds
to
not evil. Defeat evil?
No, it doesn't matter. But what's happening here? Right. Anyway,
you want to talk here? You can talk here if you want.
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay.
It's cool.
So what I'm trying to say is, what was I saying? Fuck. You can connect to people's minds. You can do it in a less confrontational way.
Yeah, people are not completely stupid, but some people, their intelligence is under a thick layer of fog, behind a thick layer of fog.
That's a good way of looking at it.
And to dissipate the fog, you need to win the argument, so they pay attention to you.
You don't need to win.
So they pay attention to what you're telling them. So they give a chance to your ideology, so they can see it.
Right, but
you know what I mean?
I understand, but the setup of, for example, some of the Muslim groups here.
Oh, sure.
The setup of it is.
You guys wanna come here? You wanna come here to the camera?
We're just.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's still recording the audio.
I mean, yeah, we can.
It doesn't matter, see the visual.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Fuck the viewers.
I know. It's much more important to listen to what this guy's going to say. Okay. I'm sure it's exactly the same as he said for about 4 years in a row.
Yeah, I think he's bringing the camera now. But, oh well. It doesn't matter. Well, it was good.
Let's do a quick clarification.
Yeah, it's cool.
Let's content over everything. From your humanity.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen.
COE.
Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't even listen to Sky YT. I just listen to COE. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
I was bored already, bro.
I don't even listen to Sky YT. Man, listen to COE.
Alright, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عبده المصطفى وعلى آله وصحبه ومن بهدي اقتفى وسلم تسليما كثيرا. I was just speaking to Leon behind the camera.